So first, let's get your name and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Harriet Barakoff, originally from King Cove. I've lived here since '65, so I've been here for 47 years, and this is my home. And my children are been born and raised here.
Wow. So one of the things we're looking at is what is wellness, and how have you seen it change from when you were a child to now, and what are some of the things that we can do in the future to be better and to promote wellness?
Okay, to me, wellness, when I was growing up, there was 8 of us children, so we had to be very creative. We didn't have the modern things like we have TV, computers, and cell phones, and things like that. We played out a lot. The 8 of us, we had a lot of exercise. We were out all the time, and we did all kind of things. We had to use our mind to think of and be very creative of what we did. And we ate very healthy because we ate a lot of the things off the land. My father went hunting. We ate a lot of ducks and caribou and fish, and we put up a lot of stuff. So we ate a lot more healthy, I think, than what we do nowadays. Comparing to nowadays, most of the children, they stay home, or they're couch potatoes, they're watching TV or playing video games, they're on the internet. So I don't think they get enough exercise like they should be. And they got all this fast foods. You could go and get just anything to eat. The fattening foods, that's probably what you shouldn't have. But I mean, that's a comparison from when I was growing up. I never seen soda pop and candy bars like the kids could just get that stuff so freely. Should we go?
Yeah.
I think in your school system, with your children that are in school, I think they with their diet, I think is very important, because you have such a large percentage of diabetes nowadays.
Okay.
I think learning the right kind of foods to eat and the exercise, and of course I know a lot of the kids do participate in sports, and I think that just your lifestyle is totally right. Different. I think so, yeah. Or even educating the public too. And it starts in the home, really.
Yeah.
That's where it really starts. I mean, I'm probably the worst example because I love to eat and I cook, for the grandkids, and of course I'll make the most fatteningest food there is, and I love to eat and I love to cook, and that's how I socialize.
Yeah.
So to model, I think you just have to be able to discipline yourself, and to teach them their proper, your vegetables and your meat and your fruits, the proper things to eat.
Excellent. Well, I think we got it. I think that's a wrap. That was perfect.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Vince Tudikoff Sr., born and raised here in Unalaska. I grew up in a kind of different environment than most people. I didn't have a mother or father. I was brought up by my grandmother under the tradition of the Aleut culture. The oldest male is given to the grandmother to raise and to take care of, because that's part of the culture in those days was that the eldest son of the firstborn would be given to the grandmother to raise. And as part of that, as he rose, as I grew up, I learned the values of the culture, the language, the community, and how to be a good community supporter from my grandmother. I've always had a passion for, number one was a church, because my grandmother was a church reader. I then became also a church reader. At one point I was seriously thinking about becoming a priest, but part of that in bringing together people is having a chief system. It needs to be brought back, because when I was growing up, there was a lot of we did a lot of subsistence hunting, fishing, gathering, and we did it in big groups of families. There's 4 or 5 camps here at that time when I was growing up, and we'd have 4 or 5 families in one camp, and we fished, we gathered, we laughed, we had times where we had to bury people, and so we did that all together as families. I would like to see it happen weekly. A lot of people are busy. We are in a day and age where technology drives a lot of what we're doing today. Getting our kids out to go like to the culture camp that we have here once a year. I like to see that culture camp going year round, once a week for the kids to come into a facility and they gather and they talk, and then they can develop their own little plan about what they're going to do for the following next 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Whether it's building a headdress, building garments, talk about why that was important in those days.
Yeah.
We don't wear them anymore, except on ceremonial or big events. If they can get back to understanding why they're Aleuts and why they're here, I think a lot of them would take a little bit more pride in being who they are and get away from the video games for at least a couple hours a night.
Yeah.
And maybe this will expand them to go outside the house.
Uh-huh.
Like it was mentioned earlier, there's no outside events anymore. Everybody's inside. Everybody's locked up in their little room and they're doing their thing. At the last meeting, one of the most amazing things happened was they did, and I talked about it a little bit, they did going to that tribal chief type governance. We're moving in that direction. I was nominated and elected to be the honorary first chief of the community. Elders like myself can take what we've heard here and say we need to bring in the younger people and get them involved, because if we don't, then we're going to have another gap here.
My name is Anthony Lekanoff. I'm from St. George Island. And wellness right now is my grandchildren. When I see them, I'm more happy. But now they're living in Anchorage, so it makes it hard, I don't see them, except, I don't know if you met Anthony.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's my oldest, and he lives with us in the summertime.
Okay.
So he does well with us, So we're always happy to have him, but yeah, he helps me and my wife out quite a bit. So he's a good boy. So hopefully he'll come back again next summer. Yes, it is. But now, like you said earlier, we never had movies. Well, when I was growing up back in the 50s, we had movies we used to go to, but never had TV until 90s. And, so everybody's sitting at home and watching TV. They're all glued to it, so. But I like to get out and walk, so it's always fun. If I get depressed, I go for a walk. I feel better. People used to go out hunting, for kittiwakes and murres.
Uh-huh.
But after the bird flu came up, nobody touches birds anymore, hardly.
Oh, wow.
So.
Wow.
But when I was growing up, we used to get a lot of seal.
Uh-huh.
That was our main food, was eating seal, because the government, when the people worked for the government, they only got just very little food, canned goods and stuff. So we never had fruit back in the 50s until maybe late 50s.
So so when you walk, where do you walk? Is there
I like to walk the beaches.
the beaches?
Yeah, it's like my grandson and I, we go to this place, Steyertail. It's the first village when the Russians brought the people up. We find a lot of fossilized seal teeth.
Oh, wow.
And he has a spear shaft that he found about 4 years ago. And we have it in one of our books. It was made from whalebone back when the Russians first came to Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that at home, and and that was 1740, I think, when the Russians came over.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that, so it's our one little treasure. Yeah, it's like that same year my grandson found a spear shaft. I like to go to this place we call Garden Cove. You got to go over this hill. I don't know how high it is, but it's pretty high, and then down to the place. We used to go camping over there. We found a walrus tusk that's 39 inches long.
Oh, wow.
And and it felt like it was 30 pounds walking on the.
Wow.
It's about a three mile walk on the tundra, you know.
Okay. Now?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay, I'm Pauline Rukovichnikov. I'm a resident of St. Paul Island. I was health aide for 45 and a half years, and I encourage all health aides to speak up for their villages and to talk. Don't be bashful, because you're angels on earth helping your people in all your communities in Alaska. And I made my choice growing up. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to be a somebody. I'm going to help my people because I love talking to people and working with people, taking care of people. The health aides, the elders, singing in the choir. What helped me the most was my faith in church and my orthodoxy. Helping people know you have choices in what you want to do in life. You know, for wellness of themselves, their children, and in their community. You have to have family support and love. Love for what you want to do. But I looked around. Kansas was a college and high school, and what's the other one? Vocational. So I said, I'm going into nursing. So I took 1 year of nursing there. And then pushed my children, go get education. It's very important. You will become somebody. And you have choices on what you want to do with yourself. So my daughters, 2 of them went to Montechcom also, and my one son. One became an certified auto mechanic. The other one's now working for Aleutian Pribilof Island Association.
My name is Alice Snigroff Petravelli. I was born and raised in Natka. My father was Cedar Snigroff. My mama was Agnes Uchni. I had 2 older brothers, Puda, John. John passed in infancy. My sister Vera, me, then 2 younger brothers, George and Gabriel. They passed the same year my mom did. So my father more or less raised us, you know, and then I've been accused of being aggressive because a man raised me. I don't think so. I really don't think so. But to me, the way I grew up in Natka before World War II, it was like a safe haven. Everybody took care of everybody. They set the parameters, you know, we couldn't go beyond. Atka has 3 creeks. Puvanki on the west side, Kustichirana on the east side, the one right in the middle. So as a kid I knew my boundaries, you know. And if I misbehaved, an elder would always take me home. And unfortunately, this is why they take me home by my ear. So right away my father looked at it and said, Alkus mal kidarotet, what did you do now? So to me, everybody involved in well-being of each other, and most important, spirituality of the people. Our religion, the Orthodox, it was the anchor for Atka, you know. Before the war, the men took care of, when they were going out to work out of the village, they had what they call Malivna, the prayer, they go to church, they go on the boats or go where, they come back. As soon as they landed on the shore, they went to church and pledged X percentage of their salaries to the church. Therefore, our church was always well maintained. We had a beautiful, beautiful. You see how beautiful this church is here? Have you seen Alaska?
Yes. Yeah.
Atka was even. To me, wellness is you have good spiritual experience, you have good mental health, family unit, and employment. People have to feel productive to be healthy. It's hard, you know. That the way I see it, young people, they're pulled in two worlds.
Yeah.
And the main focus, the authors of Alaska Native Claims Act gets upset with me when I say this. I mean, it's a beautiful thing that happened. But like anything else, sometimes some of the ripples are good. Sometimes there's bad ripples, you know, when you drop a rock in the water. The bad thing is before land claims, when I was growing up, everybody could use your camp. It might be your personal camp, but you could use it as long as you left it clean, and if you are able to replenish it. Today you want to use a camp, give me the money, where's your money?
Yeah.
I mean, we shared. Now people, that when old people need help, they expect to be paid. And before that, they weren't paid, but they were right there helping. Kind of changed the way, and I have to go back a little bit and correct that. The way I grew up disappeared when they took, you know, the story of the Alice being evacuated, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was a changing point right there. Because due to lack of care, lack of food, lack of housing, a lot of our elders passed. So we were kind of left kind of floating. Then from subsistence economy, we went to money economy.
Yeah.
And people start having problems. Then I was too young. I was 12. I didn't realize what the adults were going through. The trauma that set off alcoholism and etc. That's when alcoholism, I think, among the Aleutians started, because they couldn't talk about it. Nobody believed that U.S. government could do such a horrible thing. They thought we were just saying things and doing things because we were weak people. We're not. You've seen yourself. According to the DNA that I work with Professor Crawford from University of Kansas, I'm a descendant of the original settlers of the chain, and that was over 10,000 years ago. So we have a long history. But to me, wellness, you have to be productive, strong mental health, and spirituality. We belong to the land and the water. We can't live without it. And the parents were the final authorities, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're and they set examples, they set the parameters for their children. And they have to be there. They have to provide safe place for their children.
Okay.
Okay, that's the important thing.
Modeling. Yeah. I think that's important.
My name is Boris Bear. Yeah, born in Volkovsky. Enjoy yourself. You know, get out there in the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, that's what life's all about. You can't sit there on the land and say, I want to go out. I got everything I need to go out.
Yeah.
And that's what really makes me feel like living. Me and my friend, we went out all the time. The best part of that whole thing is that me and Daryl, we went out and we hunted for the elders. And we gave food to them. That was the best part of being alive, to give something to somebody that what they love to eat. It was a whole experience to hear them say, oh boy, you know, you give them a halibut, you give them a duck, you know, give them some seal meat, and seagull eggs, and codfish, and whatever we got, we go out there and give it to the people. Because that's what they wanted to eat. That's what they want. Because the elders, they didn't want to go to the store. If you brought them back some food they wanted, that was it. That's the best part of the whole work, everything. I'd do it all over again, if I could, you know. Now I'm the elder. And I'm still doing it for myself and whoever I can get out there and do it for. And I'm what I'd say to the people, you know, is don't smoke, don't drink, and you can have everything you want. You can have the best skiffs, the best motors, you know, and you can have that all, because that's where all your money goes if you do them things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Well, I think we got it. Oh,
Yeah.
this is good.
Okay.
I'm Gregory Frey, the senior from St. Paul Island. I'm 71 years old, so being interviewed of wellness and everything. So my opinion, or I feel it's my knowledge, and I've done it, and I've changed. I was fat, okay, then I'm losing weight because I went back to what we used to do. Number one, when I went hunting, we walked. And we did it as often as we could. We had hunters. Every day, everyone was hunting. It's not only to go out there, you get, like it's, put it this way, we had our IRA meetings, city meetings, there'd be 10, 15 of us hunting somewhere. We're discussing things of how things are going and everything, and that's camaraderie to me. You know everybody, but you don't get to see them all the time, but in hunting, we were there. So we would discuss matters and then what we feel we should do. Like we're doing it now here, but we're just talking about it. And the doing is the one, and nobody does nothing. They're waiting for the other person to do it. But if you do it, somebody has to start it. Instead of talking about it in your homes, when you go to meetings, bring it up. But lose that shyness. Don't be embarrassed. Bring it up. If you don't say it, nothing's going to happen. And then that's wellness in my community. I discussed it in the meetings. And not only one Aleut village, every one of us come together. I know we did the same thing. We did subsistence style of living off the land of what we had, and sharing, that's the main one. We took care of our elders, made sure they had the meat. That respect has to come back to the elders. Don't be bashful. Don't be afraid. I said, at that time, things will come together and it'll be good. And then you'll enjoy what we enjoyed in the past. Now you are doing things that distract you, all your games, everything. You don't have time for nothing. So, and in my age, we used to sit around and listen to our elders talking. That's how I learned that Aleut. I didn't have to read a book. Just saying, listening. And then what I gained out of it from the elders was I knew where to go to the hot spots in fishing. They would tell me. Actually, they didn't have GPS, they had hills. And the hills and one spot you use, it tells you how far you could go out. And when the tide, you find out, and then you time it. And then if you get in 20 minutes, you know it, so you go right back. That's how we caught halibut. So, and the other thing is, when we're hunting, we never knew. When the wind is blowing certain direction, there's areas where the birds or sea lions will come around. And that's a good spot, the seals. See, I learned that way. And every time I go out hunting, because of what I heard from my elders, I never came back with an empty pack sack. I got it. And when I bring it back, I share it. Tutesis agitats, numerten tutel mother. Open your ears to me, listen to me, and do it. Ikudum snur kimmichkadu kocht. If you don't do it, you're going to go down. You can't be happy. The happiness I feel is great. When slumin anrach kochtich, itrachtak, in this age it's different. Mine ilan, from mine. Tara. Tum leader a me teachit. Tis matkin anrach a me tumwin. Tinudun, inganaslan, agisechamnaduk. The way the elders live and the way you're living now, you come together with your elders and talk, then you'll receive it. Don't think about it. Do it now. You be proud of it. God made you that way.